I'm kidding. Oh boy, we're live.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Paranormal Question of the Day. We'll be right back right after the short intro. And we're back. So I
That
hope
was quick.
everybody's having a good Friday, and hope you all are doing good out there, having a nice. Was it St. Patty's Day today? Is that what it is?
It is.
It is. I know you're all getting drunk and drinking green stuff.
I'm getting GERD. That's what I'm getting. Old people problems.
So everybody, welcome. And this is Mirrored Souls. We have Sergio Galvin here and Tori Westhoff. So, how you guys doing today? Welcome to the show.
Good. So
Pretty
far,
okay.
so good.
Yeah, it's been kind of an emotional day, honestly. We've got somebody in the hospital right now who we're not sure if they're going to make it through the weekend or whatever. So we spent some time with them. But otherwise, it's been a pretty darn good weekend so far.
Hey, Nathaniel.
Friday.
It is Friday, yes. Thank God
it's
Friday. And overtime starts again next week. Pooh.
That means 6 days, not counting today. We get to see each other.
Oh, there we go. So before we get into all the stuff that we want to talk about tonight, Tori, you want to give your backstory and what got you into the paranormal?
Well, I don't think there's anything quick about it.
No, I mean, we got a while. So.
The Cliff Notes version is I grew up in a haunted house. I saw my first ghost when I was 5 years old. That sparked my interest in the paranormal. And I grew up in a time period. I grew up in the 80s. I mean, I'm going to show my age here. I grew up in the 80s. And back then, like, there was no internet. There was no yellow pages for paranormal groups. And I remember sitting outside of my house as a kid, feeling safer in the dark outside by myself than I did in my own home. And that kind of sparked like this curiosity. It was like, well, if I could figure out what it was, maybe I wouldn't be so scared of it. And fast forward to about 15 years ago, I started the Paranormal Help Desk, which finds groups of investigators to investigate the homes of people experiencing hauntings. And I do that worldwide and free of charge. I've had that, like I said, about 15 years, give or take. And then I wrote some books because I'm a research nerd. I love research and I love, all things weird, I guess. And now I'm investigating. So that's Cliff Notes.
What was your memorable experience you had? Did you have any experiences that just really kind of drove you to this path?
Yes. The shadow person that I saw in my childhood home, it was the first one and the only one that I've ever seen like that to this day. The way that my house was you to go to the bathroom, you had to go into the kitchen because the kitchen, like the bathroom was right off of it, and you like rounded this corner, and we had what we called a great room, and it was like a really big space. And when I was walking through the dining room, I glanced into the great room on my way to the bathroom, and I saw a shadow figure, and it looked really big to me, but I was also probably, 12, 13, 14 years old, right around in there, like early teens. Mm-hmm. So it probably really wasn't that big because I was still a kid, and I guess, things seemed more big back then. And it looked like somebody took a cookie cutter in the shape of a human and just stamped it out of the landscape. It was pitch black. You couldn't see through it. And it was standing in what I would perceive as an aggressive posture.
Yeah.
It was okay. This is the only thing that I can really compare it to. But you know how like when guys get angry at each other and they're getting ready to fight and they like puff up their shoulder, it was kind of like that. Yeah, I mean, that's what it looked like. Was it being aggressive? No. Did it hurt me? No. Did it come anywhere close to me? No. But that's how I perceived it at the time. It scared the shit out of me. So that is one of my most memorable experiences, I would say.
Wow. Very interesting. And I'm a 70s baby, so I feel really incredibly old now. So
90s
I'm not far
baby.
behind you.
so Sarah Joe, what has gotten you into the paranormal and your backstory?
What all started it was, and I think it was subconscious, was as a kiddo, the house I grew up in, kind of a similar situation. But my two older brothers and I, we would hang out downstairs in our basement. It was an unfinished basement. It was actually made out of an old schoolhouse. Once my grandparents purchased the land, they moved an old schoolhouse on there, built a basement, whatever. And there would be times that either I was hanging out there by myself or my brothers and I were hanging out there. And there were times that it was completely comfortable down there. And there were times that like you just felt like you were incredibly unwelcomed.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you could imagine like a father figure or some kind of adult male figure just like being very stern with you. That's what it would feel like sometimes. And like we would just bolt up those stairs as fast as we could as kids. Neither one of us really talked about it. None of us really shared what that felt like or what we thought it would be. It was just like we would just make eye contact and be like, dude, like we're out. Don't know what it was. And then my one brother, his name is John, him and I really got into I think it was Taps.
Okay.
That group.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really watched them, Jason and Grant, growing up, and we were just fascinated with it. My parents got divorced, and I was really seeking for a rhyme, a reason, anything to make sense of this life, more or less. And I was kind of like flipping off God or a higher power, whatever you want to call him, being like, dude, like prove it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Prove that something exists. Prove that there's more to life than this bullshit misery. And I started to see things at that time. Like the best way I can describe it, those of you from the Midwest, you're very familiar with this. Say it snows, like it snows tonight. Tomorrow the sun shines and it creates a crust on the snow, and then it gets really, really cold. And then the following day you have this brilliant, amazing frost on top of that crust. And it sparkles in the sunshine, whatever. That is what I would see. I would see it in like masses, like about as big as like a bowling ball almost, to like being even bigger. And to this day, I still see them here and there throughout the day, every damn day. No idea what it is. So I grew up Catholic. I talked to my priest about it at one time. I think he thought I was crazy. I don't know. This all happened in my early teen years, like 13, 14 years old. And I've just been really fascinated, kind of like a closet ghost hunter, more or less, trying to make sense of the world, more or less.
I think we still do that every day, though.
Yeah. So I think it's fairly normal. I think it's a good thing to challenge your spirituality and to challenge these thoughts that you have. But that's where mine really began. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And the basement was where you guys screwed up was your most memorable paranormal experience besides
that's like the earliest memory that I have of feeling some kind of pressure, some kind of energy where it was like, dude, I'm fucking not welcome here. I need to get gone. I don't know what that feels like. Well, I know what it feels like, but like I don't know what it means. I don't know what that energy wants of me, but I just feel like I don't belong here right now, so I'm just going to get the fuck out and find something else to do.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, something scares you enough where, and it's kind of like you want to take a back step from it, you know, and
Yeah, so
you don't come back to it like you have. You just kind of come back to it now.
I had a weird situation where in the career I had prior to what I'm doing now, I was a social worker, going like in-home consultant, more or less, just teaching parents how to be good parents when they're involved in the system, yada, yada, yada. And I had come to this house, and the dad had a girlfriend move in from, I think, Illinois or something. Never met her in my life. And she's like, dude, like, I don't mean to make you uncomfortable, but like, I know things about you. I was like, what? You think of safety, security, like, well, are you after me? Like, what's going on here? But she's like, no, 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 no. Like, she's like, whatever's going on in your house, I think he's a school teacher. I think he's associated with your house because it used to be an old schoolhouse. He's just kind of upset that his pride and joy was made into a home, and he hangs out in your basement. And then she made comment about my grandfather. And when we were in trouble as kids, he would always wear a baseball hat like what you're wearing, but he'd flip the bill up and he'd do a kind of face, whatever, to try and get us out of our pouty mood. And anyway, and she perfectly described that, and she did the same damn thing. She's like, yeah, your grandpa's here with me, and like I know that your grandma just recently died, and she's here too. And I was like, what in the hell? What in the hell? Like, I've never met you before. You shouldn't even know who the hell I am, but whatever. So that still kind of sticks in my mind too. Like, is that energy downstairs in my home where I grew up in, like that guy? Is it someone else? I don't really know. I have no idea.
When we dabble in the paranormal stuff, we really don't know who we're really talking to.
Yeah.
And it's always a guess, but then there are some hints that are given that we can say, okay, this is who this is, because they're given hints as to who they are.
Yeah. And I just, whoever is down there, whatever, I just more or less just want to give them reassurance that the building is being taken care of with all the love and good intention that you could ever come up with. Like, we're not here to destroy anything. We're not here to like overpower what it once was, you know?
I totally get that.
Yeah, if I could communicate that with that guy, if that is a thing that exists there, like just give him some peace of mind, and that you don't have to be so overbearing. You don't have to be mad at us. Like, we're going to take care of your building. It's okay.
Yeah. And it's okay once in a while to talk to spirits in your own home, but that's the number one rule as a paranormal investigator. You don't investigate your own home.
We'll see.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of it because I've done it myself. So
yeah.
So just want to make a quick note in the comments there. If you guys are posting a lot and my thing is not catching up, so all of a sudden if I get a poof of comments, then you know why. I'll be going through a lot. Lately it's been with Facebook, and I don't know if it's Twitch, but things are really getting screwed up in my comments, where all of a sudden I get blasted with comments like right away. So
that's okay.
Good morning. So now we're at this stage in your life where you guys are a new team in a paranormal field, called, like it says, Mirrored Souls. So what actually got you guys together to create this new paranormal team?
I feel like I'm going to get emotional.
I'm going to call it fate. That's what I'm going to call it.
Oh my God.
I met Sarah Jo a few years ago at the Manor for an event. She came with someone else, and we actually met that night, and we kind of hit it off. If I remember, it was kind of a sausage fest, and we were,
the only two ladies.
The only two ladies are very close to it. Anyway, so Sarah and I, we just kind of like hit it off, and like we were just kind of talking and
getting to know each other. Time out. So I very much remember seeing you, and I was like, are you genuine or are you not?
Right.
And I just kind of kept my eyes on you or whatever. And then it was like gravity just
Yeah.
it worked, whatever. And anyway, yeah.
It
Go
was really
ahead.
cool. Like it was really cool. We started, we were talking about stuff and things, and I told her a lot of information about some stuff and things, and it kind of I know that sounds like really shady. It really does, but I don't really talk about uh, me ish in that area, just simply because I don't want people to think of that when they see me or they meet me or they interact with me, because I feel like that part of me um, definitely impacts how people perceive me, just
Well,
simply because of
yeah,
the
and
state of.
I feel like people can easily take advantage of that. Um, anyway,
But
I know
anyway,
I like to protect that as
yeah,
well.
yeah, like I mean, you know what I'm talking about, Darren.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
anyway, so we had a very candid discussion. It was very emotional and it was very honest and genuine, and we just kind of hit it off after that.
I shit you not. Like one of the first questions she asked me, she says, "Are you a sensitive?" And I said, "I really don't fucking know." To be honest, I really don't know. It's been hinted to me that I might have these abilities. I don't know. And she says, "Yep." Anyway, the conversation continued.
And then we were sitting up in one of the lovers' rooms in the manor. You know which rooms those are? I think those are down by.
It's by Rebecca's side, isn't it?
No, they're on the
Or is
second
it?
floor.
Oh wait, no, it's by the bathrooms, right?
Yes.
Yeah, by the bathroom.
Yes.
I've only
Yeah,
been
it's on the
to the
second
manor
floor.
once. I've seen
I
enough video to.
I can't remember which side it's on. I think
Well,
it's next
so
to the attic.
you go up the stairs on the second floor, and the captain's area is right to your left, and you keep on going, and you go down that hall. Whoop, my hand.
Captain's to your right. It goes around the corner because he's in the same hallway as Inez.
Okay.
Yes,
So
you're
I
right.
think we went to the left because that's
Yes.
Hank's room at the front, and then you have the lovers' rooms, and Jeff's room, and then the attic door.
Yes.
I'm
Yes, you're
pretty
right.
sure.
You're right.
And
Yep,
we were
you're
just
right.
sitting there, and we were just we were talking about work actually, and she caught this EVP, or actually it was a disembodied voice because we heard it with our ears at the time. We were just sitting there talking, and there's, I
It
think
was
everybody
actually
else had kind of winded down, and they were downstairs, and we're like, yeah. So we went upstairs so that we could just continue talking or whatever. And all of a sudden, we both heard, "Hi." we're like, hmm?
yeah, we both went, what?
And then we're like, shit, we got to get out of here, but we got to pass whatever that was, like to get out of this room. Yeah, she caught all that on
The audio
recorder.
recorder.
And those
Yeah.
are the best things. I mean,
Yeah. I just feel like our energy together really works well. It's pretty rare to audibly hear something physical at the same time and then also catch it on a recorder. And I have it. The recorder is sitting at my house. I'm not at my house right now, unfortunately. But Darren, I did download that recorder cleanup software.
oh, Audacity.
Yes, I did do that. Just need to get on it.
It's hard to learn. I'm still learning.
But yeah, and I feel like we kind of lost touch a little bit here and there.
Mhm.
And then we recently reconnected here this last winter.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we went to Squirrel Cage.
Yes, and oh my god. So we went to Squirrel Cage with our good friend Thomas. You know him. He's a wonderful human. And Tori and I had not seen each other since Malvern, right? So we all met up at our Airbnb at that time, and I saw Tori, and it was like, dude, like this is
Bring it in.
incredible. I have missed you. I don't even know who the fuck you are. I do, but I don't. But like, I just miss you. And we hugged, and the second we hugged in the bathroom, there was a picture probably about as big as this calculator, and it was just like paper, and it went flying off the shelf about 3.5, 4 foot, flying off the shelf, hit the floor. And Tori was facing away from that because she was facing the door to the outside of the building, and I was facing inward because I just came into the building. And I saw that, and I was like, do we have that kind of energy between us to have that kind of impact? I'm not quite sure. I don't think that this place is haunted. I don't think there's anything going on with that. I just like wonder if like, boom, kaleidoscope. I don't know. But it was like, damn, that's really cool. And it happened right in front of Thomas too. We tried to debunk it. Like I was like hopping and jumping around the floors, trying to like.
We looked silly for a while.
Yeah.
But we'll take it.
Yeah. So
well, you guys have a good interaction though. I mean, I popped on a little bit later after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you guys are doing the spirit dice, I believe, at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had their new toy, I think it was the Omni.
I have a static dome.
That's it.
And then the Flux 2.
I want to call it the Omni. I don't know why, but
see, whenever you say Omni, I always think of Omnicell because I'm a pill pusher at work.
Me too. Me too. we traded the Omni for a Pixis. Now we have Pixis. But yeah, when people say Omni, I think of Omnicell. Yep.
Anyway.
That was good interaction. Yeah, I was watching that for a while. So
yeah. And I don't know. I feel like I'm more of like a dude, whatever. And it's really hard for me to interact with other females. I think that goes back to like intense childhood trauma from my own mother. So it's just that it makes it that much more special to me to have this connection with Tori, because about the only other person I have a special connection to is who I call my sister. And she's a long-term family friend. So it's just really fucking cool to find somebody like this and to create something like this. Fucking Mirrored Souls, man. So Tori, take it away. What is Mirrored Souls? What does it mean? Where did you come up with the idea? Because I'm in love with it, but you explain it a lot better than I do.
Yeah.
So Mirrored Souls is basically another term for like a twin flame. Now your twin flame can be anyone. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be somebody of the opposite sex. A lot of times when people think of twin flames, they think of like soulmates, which your soulmate can be somebody of the same sex. It doesn't have to be an intimate relationship, I guess I should say. A lot of people, when they think about twin flames and soulmates and all of that kind of thing, they attach it to like an intimate relationship. But your twin flame and mirrored souls, basically they mirror each other. And the synchronicities within the lives of Sarah Jo and I are just ironic. And it's almost unbelievable. You know what I mean? We've been through a lot of the same things. We can relate to a lot of like, you know, everybody has traumas and everybody has things that they don't deal with well, I guess. And we have a lot of those same characteristics. And one of the other things that I really love about Sarah Jo is that she is also my opposite. She grew up religious. I did not. I cannot tell you a cotton picking thing about the Bible, not one single thing, because I didn't grow up that way. That was not something that that was not something that was in my life. And you know, growing up, and it wasn't that like it was kept from me. It was presented as an option, you know, because my father, you know, he went to church and he was made to go to church, and he didn't like to be made to believe something. I mean, he believes in God, obviously, and all that. Actually, he does not believe in the paranormal whatsoever, but he supports me 1,000%. Like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Usually I
Like
kind
you
of have
will,
conflicts with people like that.
yeah, you will
Yeah.
never be able to. You will never be able to talk him into believing ghosts are real. This is not going to happen.
Till he
But
went first per door.
but I think he would explain it away. He's more of a like he's a skeptic, 100%. And I don't like, and I think that maybe because of his religion, there's just not room in his mind for that to come in or for it to even be an option or a
I
possibility.
1000% relate to that exact thought. Because, like, so I grew up in a very conservative Catholic Irish household. And Thomas, he'll vouch for this 1000%. When I first met him, I told him I was excited about the paranormal. I wanted to explore it, but it scared the fuck out of me because I didn't have enough room in my mind to allow such a thing to exist.
Mhm.
And that's been really, really hard for me to kind of overcome that. Like, um, there's so much more out there in the world than what Catholicism ever taught me. There's so much more. Like, I feel like they force blinders onto you. Like, I always think of a carriage horse, and you've got your blinders on, and that is the only way. And a lot of organized religions, they use fear to kind of have a sense of control over your thoughts and over your actions and whatever. And there's so much more out in the world. There's so much more enrichment, so much more just people to
Mhm.
explore and to have connection with and stuff. And fuck it. Anyway, go ahead, Tori.
No, you're fine. I like, and I don't hold it against him. I
Right,
don't at
right,
all. Like how
right.
he feels is how he feels, and I completely
Right.
1000% respect that. And it's not anything that I would ever force him to acknowledge or anything like that.
Mhm.
I respect his opinion, and he respects mine, and and it works fine. Like I will tell you, the first time that I sold one of
It's
my
probably
books,
helpful at some point.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. Um, I we have a local festival here every year, and I decided that I was going to have a paranormal table. It was a vendor table, and I was the only paranormal vendor table in the history of that event ever. Like ever, because where I live, paranormal is not a thing. Like it's not a I
It's
don't
more
know. Like
hush hush because
yeah,
it's a
we
lot of
live in the
places
Bible
are
Belt.
like that. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't want people to bring it all out. I mean, there's towns here in Wisconsin are like that too. It's like, all
Mm.
right, you can have this, but you got to be quiet about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I feel the same way. Like, where I'm at is a very German community. I'm already Irish, so I'm already an outcast, and people think that my family is just a bunch of drunks. Hello. Welcome to the early
Well, I'm
1900s.
Mexican, so there you go.
Fuck. So
Us
anyway,
drinkers.
so there was already this vision of my family to begin with, and then like when you start challenging those things within your small town, I mean there's beautiful things about small town community, but when you start challenging those kinds of things,
Mhm.
you get sideways glances, and when you
Mhm.
go and get milk at the grocery store, they're like,
There's the devil worshiper.
I thought you were a Galvin. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing
Yeah.
challenging these things? What are you doing having these thoughts and throwing the F-bomb here and there? And it's like,
Mhm.
I don't know, I'm just being real, man. And it just I just wish more people were open and not so mean and not so judgmental and hypocritical. It just
Yeah,
like
and my stance on it is you don't have to agree with what I think or what I believe.
exactly,
But
exactly.
I would like to you don't even really have to respect it, but I would like you to respect my person.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. I
And
mean, we're
I'm not
not
out
here to
there like forcing things on people or whatever. It's just like just openly having discussion about it, like whether it's social media, my Insta, my Facebook, whatever. Like I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like some of my people in my home grocery store or even when I go and get gas, they're like, what are you doing here? It's like,
I can give you a very, very good example. Um, I was friends with this person for probably mm, his kids are like 18 or 19 now, and I was around when they were born. Um, but he grew up very religious, and I remember like opening up to him about like because it's not really something I tell people, and this is
Yeah.
one of the number one reasons why, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of opened up to him, and like I shit you not, he looked me square in the eyes. I mean, we'd been best friends for 15, 16, 17 years. He looked me square in the eyes and told me I was going to burn in hell for what I was doing, and that he couldn't be around somebody like that.
Wow.
And we were not friends after that day. Like it was that easy. Like for him to just
And that's
Well,
sad. It really
yeah, it is.
is.
I see. I work in a factory, and a lot of people really make fun of people when we do stuff like this because they just don't understand or get it. Um, so this one guy I work next to, he's a um, what do you call? Well, he's a pastor beyond what he does at work. But when he's at work, he drops the f bombs. He's like weird and all this stuff. And the moment I start to start talking about the paranormal stuff, because he was interested, he wanted to know. So I started explaining stuff to him. I was like, I'm not pushing this onto you. I'm just, explaining some of the stuff what I do and
Mhm.
whatnot. And he goes,
mhm,
man, you were messing with bad juju. You're messing with Satan and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, nobody's talking anything about Satan here. We're doing simple things. And he just, after that, he would not talk to me for 4 days.
mhm.
And it's like, are you over this now or what? And then finally he got over it.
Yeah. I have
See,
not talked to that person to this day. Like
yeah,
since that.
and I relate to your friend at the factory there, because that was my response. Like, ooh, there's scary shit. Ooh, there's the devil, and it still kind of scares me to this day. Like, oh God, like that's been one of my biggest fears.
So I have a
Is
question
is
for you,
is like
Sarah, whenever you're
becoming
done.
like so vulnerable and unprotected. Like I don't know how to protect myself to the point of like becoming possessed. Like that has been one of my biggest fears of all time, and it I think that is a prime example of how organized religion has used fear to motivate you to do X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Do you feel like those decisions are fear driven? It like behind the, you know, like you're going to burn in hell, like comments. Do you think that behind that is fear, or do you think that that is principle?
I think it's a mixture of both. I
That
think
makes sense.
I want to say principle because that's all those people have been taught
Like they don't know any
generationally,
better.
generationally, and through whatever scripture
Hmm.
they use. And I also think that it is fear because it's taught within those principles. Like fear is a part of that principle. Like I shit you not, if I die tonight, I'm totally okay with it. I am so at peace with it. Like this might scare some people. I'm not suicidal by any means, but like I
I don't
just
have the number for that.
no, it's fine. What is it? 999 or something? I don't know. Octane rattles it off all the time. Katie Babs, hello. Octane, huh? Anyway, but like I just feel like there's so much relief in the death, like the earthly death. Like there's just so much suffering. Like I almost feel like hell is on earth sometimes. You see it within people's crimes, in their behaviors, you see it within destruction of the earth and everything going on, and it just like god damn, like what could be worse than this? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think I want to know. But
According to the
sometimes
Old
I just
Testament, we're in end times.
yeah, sometimes I just feel like I can't wait for death because I'll have relief, and I'll have relief of my own mind and my own questions and my own insecurities, perhaps. I don't know. That's
You
kind of
know, from
cool.
somebody that's not religious, like
Mhm.
I said, I did not grow up like I cannot tell you anything, but I remember that particular friend. It's funny because we talk about like how there's like fear of the paranormal because of the principles of like religion and what's taught within that and the fear that's embedded in those principles or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember him talking about I always jack it up, but it was something like um uh I don't know, rapture maybe or something like that. It
Yeah.
was something about how I don't know, but like listening to him talk about it like scared the shit out of me. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah, like I think of like the book of
yeah,
Revelation when you talk about that.
yeah. It's like it's like oh, I can't even remember what he said, but I remember it being terrifying, and I'm like, oh my god, like
Mm-hmm.
this is what they teach at Sunday school. I mean, maybe it really does happen. Hell, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll
Yeah.
find out when it gets here, but if it
I'm
So
ever
not.
does.
I'm not
we have
ready
a
yet.
commenter on here, Rich, saying, I'm not ready yet. I still want to find out where we're really going. I've had that thought before too. And like, I have no idea where we're going. I don't know if there is a heaven. I don't know if there's a hell. I don't know if there's reincarnation. I really don't know.
I want to come back
Um,
with a cat.
I feel like there's got to be something better than this out there, though. Some kind of relief from
I
all
feel
of our
like
struggles, you know?
I feel like looking at it as a whole, I feel like it would be rather naive to think that we are the only beings that exist in God's universe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you look at like the human body, anybody that does healthcare that's had to take A&P or anything like that. I mean, I don't know if you all had to take it, but I did, and it was freaking torturous. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
insufferable at times because it's so complicated. But like that in and of itself, it's like your heart has electricity in it,
Yes,
and it's like how does your heart have electricity in it? But the point
Lori.
is that, huh?
Lori.
Lori.
But the point in that statement is like most people, or I don't know if most would be appropriate, but don't know that you have electrical activity in your heart. But we can't really explain that. Why do we have that? Well, we don't really know. I mean, I guess if you talk to somebody that does that for a living, they could probably tell you why. But I feel like at the end of the path, there's not really any good reason. Like, well, you have electricity because of this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, from a religious standpoint, I would feel like if God was powerful enough to create us and make us all different, we all have different fingerprints. Even like we all have um, like there's not really any of us that look the same other than identical twins, and even they are different.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Right.
what I mean? And then then you have like different species and animals and just like weird sea creature. Like how does all of this exist? I feel like there has to be room for that.
Right. So that kind of brings me to the topic of like Genesis, the book of Genesis, what we're all talked about and whatever. And like people say that all this shit was made in 7 days. 7 fucking days. That is a week within the typical Western world. But like in God's eyes or our higher power's eyes, whatever you want to think about it, like we don't know what 7 days was in that time frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can explain that. What was 7 days to that person?
Could have been
That could
a
have been
month.
billions of years for all we know. That could have been even thousands of years. It could have been months. We don't know. And I
Right.
think like I remember having this thought process when I was in science class in high school, like learning about evolution and stuff. It's like I think it bleeds into one another. And Tori, kind of like what you told me, like in a roundabout way, like I think when we die, we kind of learn that all religion is seeking the same thing. We're all going about it kind of trying to find the same thing, and we all become seasoned. I don't think we all become like all knowing per se, like what Catholicism teaches, but I fully agree that we become seasoned. And within the term seasoned, like we have a greater understanding of why people do what they do, what their motivation was, what were they going through in that time frame in their life that made them make X, Y, and Z decisions. I just think we gain a lot of understanding, a lot of empathy, a lot of reason to the why. And I think that's how we find peace, perhaps within ourselves and within other people in our lives, other situations. And it just kind of like all the cobwebs kind of make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm going off topic. I don't know.
I feel like all topics are topics for us.
I know. So speaking of topics, okay, so have you highlighted one of each other's strengths and weaknesses when you are in a location together, and what to do to help each other overcome and get stronger?
Tori has amazing strength in like just she is so headstrong in when she comes up with an idea, she's going to fucking do it. She don't care if she's alone. She don't care whatever. She's just going to fucking do it. She's so determined. Like I think about like doing solos or experiments or coming up with ideas of how to challenge obtaining substantial evidence.
Mm-hmm.
She is incredibly talented in researching things. Like I go onto Google and I click on like the first 3 links and I'm like, dude, like I'm not finding anything. Bye. Like I'm done. And she is so persistent with that. And she finds out so much more information than I ever could. Those are Tori's strengths for me. She's also very, very kind, very genuine. We have very real conversations about all of our vulnerabilities and all of our weaknesses. And I'm very proud to say that between us, there is no judgment and shame does not exist within our conversations. And I wish the whole world could have that.
Yeah.
I think we've come to the conclusion between like the two of us that neither one of us are perfect, and we like it that way.
Yeah.
Like
Nobody's
I like
perfect.
that she's not perfect, and I fucking love Sarah. I just do. Like she's the best. And I legitimately feel like I could come to her about anything, and I don't feel like she's going to judge me. I don't like she's very transparent with me. I don't feel like she's going to lie to me about things or be dishonest. And trust is a very big thing for me. I have a hard time with it. A very, very, very hard time with trust. I'm not it takes a lot to be able to get into my blanket fort. Like it takes a whole lot. And I can appreciate that about her. Like she's very she was the one that just waits outside the blanket fort, and she'll stand there and wait for her invitation in, and she doesn't pressure you about it, and she doesn't harass you or any, like she doesn't even try to get in there. She just it's organic, I guess is the best way to describe it. And I love the fact that she grew up religious, because she gives me a lot of viewpoints that I don't have. I just don't have it. Like I don't and I think that helps a lot with like conflict as well. I'm sorry, my kids and dog are running everywhere. If you hear that, don't. That's in my living room. But I feel like I honestly feel like Sarah Jo handles conflict better than I do. She sometimes. I mean, I guess we both like. I mean, we've had issues with some people. Like, I mean, I think everybody has, and being able to be like, you know what, I feel this way, and I just like I'm really pissed today, and we're like, okay, well, like
let's pedal back here a little bit and let's think about this. Like, where are these thoughts coming from? What happened that caused these thoughts? Is it anything in your control? Fuck no. Why are we wasting our energy on this then?
Right. It's
like I have to have the conversation with myself too. And these are things that like could be happening right now. And a lot of our conversations is about like fucking past experiences. Like, fuck. Like, I don't think I know as another person on this planet that has gone through a lot of the same shit that I have gone through, like almost to a T. And I think that's unique. But anyway.
Sarah, so with your job that you have, do you think that helps you with the paranormal field in a way as leveling yourself?
Yes. So for those of you who don't know, I am a psychiatric security specialist at a facility with a specific population. They're basically the worst of the worst manipulators in the state. They're not safe for society, and they come to my facility to receive treatment in the hopes that they can become safe to go back out to the society after they've done their prison sentencings. I feel like the mixture of that plus a lot of my childhood trauma has really benefited me in like thinking of terms of like manipulation, how people could be attacking me, both dead or alive, how to think of things as a whole picture and transparently, objectively. It has also helped me gain a lot of understanding as to why people behave the way that they do. Because a lot of them have gone through trauma. They've gone through abuse. They've gone through whatever it is, and they have no idea how to process it. They have no idea how to communicate their emotions, whatever. And so they're just stuck in this mindset where they're just so pissed off at whatever it is they're pissed off at. And that could be living or dead. And just having that understanding when you're dealing with the paranormal of like, to disrespect you. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm not here to whatever. If you want to tell your story, let's communicate. I want to help tell your story if that's what you want. I want to help you find peace if that's what you want. If it's dead or if it's family seeking out peace for somebody who passed away. If it's like I think of Edinburgh Manor, there's a lot of shit that happened there, and it's sometimes overwhelming. And it's like, if I could find some peace within that or give them some kind of peace and like, dude, you don't have to be so mad all the time. You don't have to be like on guard all the time. It's okay. I guess that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And that's how my line of work, I suppose, helps me, perhaps. I don't know. Like, I'm just so used to being tried all the time with manipulation tactics that like sometimes I'm like, fuck off, man. There's a wall here. You're not allowed to enter in here. And I think that can be a huge benefit for like if something negative is trying to communicate with me, like, dude, like if you have negative intentions, I don't want anything to do with that. But if you want to change your attitude and come at me in a more peaceful manner, I'm open to conversation. But if you're going to be a dick about it, like, see ya, bye.
Dick. I love it. Dick.
Yeah.
Same thing for you, Tori, with all the jobs you have done in the past and researching and all that stuff. Definitely, I know the researching really comes in handy with the paranormal stuff, but is there anything else that you also do that also comes in handy to level yourself with it?
Well, law and medicine are kind of like my two other passions in life. I actually have a bachelor's degree in justice studies with a minor in sociology, and then I have an ADN. I'm an ER nurse in real life. That's what I do. I've been in healthcare for, let's see, 23 years, right around. Yeah, something like that. I worked on an ambulance for 16 years before I became a nurse, and then obviously, like that's currently what I'm doing. I've always had like just really morbid curiosity, I guess, about people that aren't right.
Yes, same.
You know, like I always wonder like what drives people. Like I took a special topics class in my law degree type stuff. Anyway, I took a special topics class, a serial killers class, and I wrote a serial killer in college.
Dude, that's awesome.
um yeah, like I am very, very curious. And it was one of the weirdest interactions I've ever had in my entire life. Like this particular person, like he was sending me pictures of little girls doing sign language, and he was convicted of like murdering and doing all kinds of nasty things to a 6-year-old girl. And that's ultimately what he was convicted for. But they think that he's killed as many as like 125 people. They just can't prove it.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Another interesting fact about that particular case was that his brother was serving time for murder and cannibalism also. So like I guess it runs in the family. Like I'm not really sure.
Yeah, with
Nurture versus nature, like that brings
Right.
up a huge topic with that.
I already know my answer with that. Like my like just like seeing the things that I've seen even throughout my career, I've seen some really messed up things. I've seen things people should never have to see. I mean, that's it. Like shit nightmares are made of. But I really think that honestly, the whole nature versus nurture, I think that people have a genetic predisposition to commit violent crime. And I think that your surroundings perpetuate that. It either makes it grow or it keeps it in check, one or the other. Um, so I feel like your social experiences play a big part, but I feel like genetics has equal amount in that. Because bad things happen to people every day. Like
right.
bad
Mhm.
things have happened to me. Bad things have happened to Sarah. I'm sure bad things have happened to you, Darren,
Oh, yeah.
throughout at some point in your life. But
Mhm.
we're not like that. Like we
Right.
don't walk around eating people. Like, um, so
Yeah.
you know, I think genetics has a huge part to play in that, and then your upbringing, your nurture part. But
Mhm.
I think that just like my love for research, I love to research stuff. I love to find things out. It's really kind of ridiculous, honestly. Um, but the books that I have done, my thing is that if I'm going to walk into a location and I'm just like looking at like just pulling from my nursing career and my EMS career, you know, when things happen to people, they're scared and they don't want to communicate. They're not like, hey, I just got my arm ripped off by a dog. Like, why don't you come have some coffee? It's not how it goes.
Right.
Typically, they're yelling at you because they're scared, and they sound angry because they're scared. They're masking anger. They're masking their fear with anger. Not always, but most of the time. Because when you're having an emergency, everything is just, you know what I mean?
Very urgent.
Yeah.
Yes. And I feel like when you walk into a location and it's somebody that they've never seen before, I don't feel like you have that rapport. And I feel like you not that you should know who you're talking to, but I feel like if you did know who you were talking to, it would make that process a lot easier. Because I feel like spirits are the same as just living people. You know, we still like just because they're dead doesn't mean that they don't have a get to know you phase, or
Right.
that they don't feel like you're a threat when you walk in, or like
You go
some
through a
little
hazing period.
I
right.
mean, like it brings me back to that conversation you had, Tori, about that electrical stimuli in your heart.
Mm-hmm,
They still have that energy about them,
mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm.
know, dead or alive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like if I were to walk up into Walmart and there's a 3-year-old girl sitting there and I tell her to come sit on my lap and have a conversation with me, she's not going to do it because she has stranger danger, and she shouldn't do it. Like let's just say that she shouldn't do it. She should have stranger danger, and but for the lack of a better example, and that's the same that if you were to walk into a haunted location that has little kids, I mean, let's pick your location. You're
Yeah.
not you can't be like, "Hey, come sit on my lap and have a conversation with me." They're probably, in my opinion, are probably not going to do that. Stranger danger. I feel like
Mhm.
a lot of characteristics that we have as living people, more than likely crosses over to that realm. And I feel like knowing how to interact with people, there's this huge dilemma about like provoking, like people provoking. You shouldn't do that. You should treat every spirit with respect.
Hmm.
I have my own personal opinions like that. Like if
Oh
old
yeah.
boy's going to be an asshole to me, I'm going to be an asshole to him. Like respect is earned. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
and that's
there's
just
a
how
kind
I
of
feel
place
about
I
it.
feel for provoking and stuff, but I mean, like in a jail house or something like
Yeah.
that, you act like a guard, so potentially you're provoking the inmates that haunt the location.
Right.
Hey, a little bit on right. How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while.
Hello.
Says that every time.
But no, you're exactly right. I mean, you definitely got to go when you go in these locations. You got to have your heads up. You got to be ready for anything that
Mhm.
can be thrown at you.
Mhm.
And it does take a few visits, or if not more, 10 visits, for these spirits to recognize as to who you are. Because, like Sarah, when you brought up Edinburgh Manor, is that place gets investigated daily,
All the time. And you got to
and
think
don't forget
about
who you are.
these people, they've got to be exhausted. They're either having fun because they're playing with everybody or they're exhausted. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, can I just like hang out for a day and just like do what I do and walk the walls and scratch my finger along the walls as I go? Like, god damn. Like, that's what I think of when I think of Edinburgh. Like, I
Yeah.
just want to be for once.
They
Yeah.
they walk in like people walk in to
Yeah.
investigate.
See,
Man, I'm trying to take a poop. Like leave me
Yeah.
alone. Like the ghost.
no,
Yeah.
with the location I booked out at the museum, there's not it doesn't get invested every day. It's the
Mhm.
last people that investigated were us in
Mhm.
February,
Mhm.
and it's been sitting there for a month without anybody there. Granted, I'm trying to get people to come and investigate, but
Welcome.
Yeah.
absolutely. And
Dead
so, I
serious.
mean, it's one of those things when the places are quiet. I mean, just think about
Mhm.
COVID times when nobody can go anywhere and do anything.
Mhm.
I bet
Mhm.
they're having the time of their lives, right, Sarah? So
Either
they
that
would
or
scratch
they're
their
like
finger
in
down the
complete
wall, and now that COVID
misery.
times is gone,
Yeah.
hey, now it's back to normal, you know?
Yep.
So
I've been scouting places for quite a long time. I mean, I'll get my hands on one eventually. But one of the things that I consciously thought, and this may show you kind of like where my brain is at as far as that goes. Like I in a venue that I end up getting, if I ever do, I feel like I will eventually, but just for the sake of this conversation, one of my things was that I wanted to have a room that was completely blocked off to the public. Nobody could go in there. I mean, other than people that were allowed to go in there. And that is going to be their safe room. If they
Yeah.
don't want to be messed with, if they don't want to have that interaction, that is somewhere that they can go that they will not be bothered. Because I don't feel like we should force interaction with them. You,
right.
you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I
And
mean, they have their works and they have their shutdown period at,
Mhm.
at Broadhead Manor has a shutdown period at from 10:30 to midnight, Bill will say, and don't even bother. Just sit down, take a breather, get your equipment
they're
charged
like,
up,
man, I'm
and just
tired.
yeah,
Mhm.
take a break, you
Mhm.
know? There are people like me who will investigate till 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, unless I drop sooner than that. But that's just me. That's some of us out there. Some of us don't investigate that long, you know.
Mhm.
But
And
like I
I
said,
think some of us go in spurts too. Like I just think about my time at Squirrel Cage too. Uh, like the guys who were locked up there, and even the juveniles that were locked up there. Like, do they know more about me than I know? Like, do they already know what I do for a job? Can they already sense that? Like, are they going to treat me different because I do have that DOC vibe about me? I don't know, and it's kind of like, are they judging me? And then that's a whole other complex about the situation too.
yeah. I mean, we
feel like
drill them with questions. I'm sure they're going to drill us with questions.
Yeah, like what are they thinking when they see me?
Like, oh,
I feel like
not
they know
you
your
again.
intention.
You just asked me 100 questions last time. What more 100 questions you got this time?
Fuck, I don't know.
You know?
I feel like they can definitely feel your intention when you walk in there.
I
Yeah,
hope
your
so.
vibe, your energy is what makes up
Mhm.
the place that night for you.
I mean, even as a living person, like if I walk into a room and I'm pissed off, everybody's probably going to know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't.
Oh, you would. Trust me. You would.
But, so
fuck.
so moving forward as into the paranormal field, what are your intentions and your expectations when you guys go investigate together, and what kind of experiments that we can expect to see that we don't normally see? Are you gonna be unconventional, or are you gonna be like everybody else and do the same EVP sessions, do this, do that, and right down the line, or more outside the box?
I think we're definitely outside the box. First of all, female only. We're
Yep.
all about the ladies. One thing that I think is unique about us is I think we're already gravitating towards like generalizing like our mental health, everybody's mental health, compassion, empathy, within just who we are as a group. And you'll see that within our investigations. I think we want to help people. We want to help people find peace. We want to research. We want to find justice. Tori, take it away. What else do you think?
Honestly, like my whole goal is I'm happy that I'm alive and I want to spend it with people that mean the most to me, and I want to do things that I'm passionate about, and that is what I am most looking forward to. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that the paranormal is in shambles right now. People are fighting. I don't want any part of it.
No.
I don't want any part of the drama. I don't want to hear who did what. I don't care. Like I don't care. Like I care about Sarah Joe. I care about what I'm doing for dinner tonight. I care about my group and what I'm doing, and my focuses, my ambitions, my goals, and my dreams. And it's not that I don't have compassion for anyone else and that I don't care about their dreams, but if it involves drama and dragging people down, I don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of it. That's not who I am, and that's not who I want to be. And I think Sarah and I feel a lot of the same, share the same feelings as far as that goes. Like
Yep, I agree.
I don't want to be involved in any shit talking. I don't want anybody to come to me with any kind of shit talking. I just don't want it. Like, and if that means that it's just Sarah and I, then I guess that just means it's Sarah and I, and I'm happy with that. I'm completely happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, parabullying is a real thing, and I think people just need to stop it and understand that we're just all looking for the same thing and trying to get the same results.
Yeah, I can't believe how much drama and how much like I almost want to call it like fake competition there is between people that I didn't even know fucking existed. Like I thought everybody was just kind of doing their own thing and like, hey, we're gonna talk to you. Hey, we're gonna talk to you, and like whatever, collaborate and stuff. And that is not at all what's going on here. And it is that is like probably the most disappointing thing about being involved in the paranormal world at this point.
With everybody.
Yeah, it has just become shambles because like I feel like part of the competition comes from like, are they being honest?
Mhm.
Is their evidence real? Are they faking shit? Are, you know, X, Y, and Z? And it's like, I really don't give a fuck.
I love it. That's
You know
why
what I
I'm
mean?
like, I don't care. Like I care about what's happening here.
And I just want to be the most genuine, heartfelt, peaceful human that I can be. I sound like a fucking hippie right now, which is fine.
But I do want to clarify that not wanting to be a part of the drama is not the same as not being like I want to be supportive of other groups. I will share your shit.
Absolutely.
I will collaborate with you. I will be a part of I will help you do like I don't need accolades for something that you're doing. Like I am able to have that happiness for other people's accomplishments,
Oh
and
my
I will
God.
help you get there. And I don't need any recognition for that. I will share your stuff. I will meet up with you. Like I will
Yep.
collaborate with you, but I do not want to be a part of the drama. And
Nope.
like I don't want people to confuse not giving a shit about that stuff and putting that and using that as synonymously with us not being supportive of other people. Of course we
Right.
are.
Right.
And like I want you to succeed.
Exactly.
I want you, like Darren, I want you to succeed. I want to see the place that you book appointments for. I want to see it blow up and be successful. Like I am
Yep.
happy if you are happy, but
Yep.
you know, if you're good to me, I'll be good to you.
Yeah.
And like,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean?
That's exactly
It
what I
should
was
be.
going to say too. Like, I want nothing more than for people to be successful, but within that success, be honest.
Yeah.
But I just, yeah, so long as you're happy, I don't give a fuck. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
fucking do your thing. No drama. Just be happy little hippies running around with dandelions in your hair. I don't give a fuck. And a
Right.
K2 in your other hand. Don't give a fuck.
There is plenty to go around. There is
Yeah.
plenty to go around. Like, and you know, my stance has always been, it's like if you piss everybody off along the way, what does accomplishment mean if you don't have anybody to share it with?
Right. Right. Look at Mr. Baggins.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Right.
Don't get me started on that shit.
Yeah.
Stuff is
Well, I just want to say that's Dylan rant and it's gone.
people are turned up over that. Like,
Oh, I know.
like at the end of the day, it's like we can be angry, like we can be mad, but it's not going to change it.
Just give me my destination fear. That's all I want.
I know. I am so sad about Destination Fear, fucking Kindred Spirits. Like, my God, Amy and Adam, like, I love the work that they do. They're just really, that's the kind of investigation that I look forward to engaging in myself with Tori. Like, I want to help the dead. I want to help the living. I want to just bring peace. I want to get down and get my fingers dirty in the dirt and figure out what the hell's going on in these houses, in
Or
these
at least
historic
attempt to.
places. You know, like that's, I really admire them, and I really hope that that's kind of where the paranormal field turns to.
Mhm.
You know,
One of my big goals for our group is like the stuff that we use, I just don't want it to be the same as everybody else. You know what I mean? Like I don't want the same stuff. Like like when I was looking for like the static dome and the Flux 2, there wasn't a lot. I got the Flux 2 off of Ghost Stop, $200. That's where I got it. But there wasn't a whole lot of reviews on it, and
We
I
actually
didn't
returned
really
ours.
see, huh?
We actually
Did you?
returned ours.
Did you not like it?
No, we didn't like it.
oh
I just felt it was
Yeah.
too slow. Like we didn't know
It-
what answer it was asking actually.
oh, okay.
So
Excuse me.
it could be it would work for some, but not for others.
no. Okay.
Right.
Type of deal.
Like, and really anything that you get is it's kind of you know, you just have to accept that cautiously, I guess, with anything. I mean, there's been time, I mean, Sarah Joe was there too, where the static dome has went off and we're like, like I don't feel like that's legit.
Mm-mm.
Right.
And I'll call it out. If I feel like something's not legit, then
Then we like click, stop the session. We kind of debunk things, reset it all up, and just kind of reset our intentions too. And then click, let's start it again, see what happens, see if the same shit
Yeah.
happens, you know?
No, it's so funny. Okay, so well actually this is not funny. I think it's actually kind of clever. So my friend Scott, he had the Flux too. We used it. I think we used it 2 or 3 times and we just like, okay, this isn't really connecting with us the way how we're doing things.
Mm-hmm.
So he came up with another thing that he saw on Kindred Spirits is with the egg issue where he had one that had yes, one had no, and he had lighted it up. You know, try it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's
should we
kinda-
tell them what we're gonna do at Velisca?
So speaking of Velisca, now this is your first investigation together, correct?
Yes.
I mean, it's our first official investigation as
first
Mirror
official.
Souls together. We've done it together. Well, we've investigated together
Mhm.
But not as a
before.
group. Now you're a group. So now what are you gonna do differently?
Nothing.
Show's over. Okay.
I mean, Like, I think, okay, so this is kind of like what I was saying before. Like, my journey into the paranormal started out as, I grew up in a haunted house. I was curious. Then, like, it moved into this era of helping people and finding people to investigate their homes, and just focusing on helping people that were scared.
Hmm.
And then it kind of morphed into, like, okay, well, what about these places? Let's dig into the history, and then turning that into books. And now it's kind of moved into this era of, now I really kind of want to know what it's about. I've been investigating, and I've done, events, and I've been in places with friends and things like that. But
Right.
like, the goal was not to go in there and to investigate. It was like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, sure, like, I'll walk around and ask a few questions and whatever, but it wasn't like this pressing need to find out anything. And I think that's what's different now, like, moving forward, is that,
Mhm.
like, I'm actively seeking, what, and it's not even really answers. I'm just actively seeking what information they're willing to give me.
Right.
Yeah, and like what information and like how they communicate. Like what I think this would be cool to I don't know if it'll ever happen in our lifetime, Tori, but like how maybe different locations learn how to communicate using different tools, whether it's our
Mhm,
minds, whether it's our bodies, dowsing rods, electronic
mhm,
devices, like just learning how different places spirits communicate better versus other places, perhaps.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make
And
sense?
yeah, and,
Yeah.
like,
All
I'm
have their
not
own attitudes.
I'm
Yeah.
not the gatekeeper kind of person. You know what
Not
I mean? It's
either.
people are like, oh gosh, we got this thing and we're not going to tell any. Like, I'm not a gatekeeper kind of person. Like, in some aspects I am, because you have to be in some
To
things.
protect
Like,
yourself.
right, like, when I'm doing the book, I'm not going to tell everybody every time I get a name, because then that's counterproductive for me. Like,
Hmm.
that's what it is. Um,
Right.
but yeah, and I will tell you that making these and creating these books has cost me way more money than I've ever made off of it. Just FYI, like, they've cost me money, and
Mm.
I'm okay with that, because the goal was not to make money. The goal was to put information out there that people could use, in a way that's beneficial. And
Right.
I don't know if anybody's ever
I
seen my
have the
book.
We Are Melbourne Manor book. I do have that.
I
I
do,
might,
and I'm supposed to be getting Edinburgh Manor as well at some point.
I need to get one myself.
I do too.
yeah. Well, we'll get it. We'll get it done. Um, we'll figure it out. But if anybody in the like, if anybody watching is interested in me showing you how the book works, I will be more than happy to do that. I'm not going to sit here and, dote on myself or anything like that. If you're curious, I'll show you. If not, we'll move on.
Mhm.
But what we're talking about, like, the gatekeeping, is, this is what we're using
Just
at Melissa.
sliding on over here.
Um, in all fairness, this was not my idea. This was not something that I came up with on my own, because I am not, like, I think outside the box, but not that far. Because I'm electronically dumb. Like, if you want to know, like, who died in 1895 in, um, Tulsa, Oklahoma, at the Poor Farm, I can tell you that. Like, I will find it. And, electronics, I am not smart. But here we are. So I saw another group using one of these on a live, and I've only seen one group use this, and I, for the love of me, cannot remember what that group name is, but they were out of the UK. That's all I can tell you. But this is a MIP robot.
I think
Um,
they just gave our page a follow, if I'm thinking UK,
yeah,
perhaps.
they're from the UK, and I didn't talk to them about it. I just saw that they were using it, and then I have some equipment out with Austin Manard, however you say his last name. Not really sure, but however you say it. But, like, he's working on some stuff for me, and then I was asking him. I was like, "Oh man!" Like, I sent him to that live, and I'm like, "What is that?"
It's
Because
not
I have no
it's
idea.
timeout. It's not Paranormal Findings UK, is it?
Hell, I couldn't even tell you. It might be.
I don't know.
mean,
They
it
gave
might
us a
be.
follow 6 hours ago, so I was like, it's
It might be.
you?
But like the way that I look at stuff like this, it's like the more that the information is out there, if I present this and I'm like, you know what, I'm going live on TikTok. Sarah and I are going live on TikTok under Paranormal Tori at Velisca, and we're gonna have this little dude. Actually, we're gonna have two because, like, I'll explain. But anyway, so Austin, he told me, he's like, oh, I've seen one of those before. And then he linked me on Amazon. He goes, it's this thing. And I was like, oh, cool. But how does it work? He goes, well, it's got sensors on it. So this little white thing is a motion sensor. And it will, so in theory, like when something crosses in front of it or it detects motion, this is a self-balancing, self-moving robot. So it will follow it. So in
Yeah.
theory, if you have a ghost walk by it, it's gonna follow it. And that's the goal. Like, we're gonna see if we can get it to follow anything. Now, I will say that there is a MIP arcade and then there's a regular MIP. And I didn't know at the time when I bought this one that there was
I'm just thinking of like the stupid names we came up with.
Tootie and Patootie or something like that. Because we got to name it MIP. Like, who says that? But the MIP arcade, I know it has sensors on it, but I just know that the original, it's called the Wowie MIP is what it's called. But the original MIP,
we're in 1953.
But that was the model before this one, but it specifically says on its packaging that it's built for, like, to control with your hand. So with the motion sensors and whatever, distance sensors, whatever. And it specifically says that it will follow. So I don't know if that MIP does the same stuff as this one. So that's why I ended up with two. And you can buy the original MIP off of eBay for $25.
Ain't bad.
This one was $65 on Amazon. So, but that's still cheaper than, the Flux 2 was $200.
Yeah.
The Static Dome was $100. And
You
this is
can
a
go
kid's toy.
fast buying equipment. That's for sure.
And the way that I look at it is, if it doesn't work, then my 8-year-old can have it and she'll have a blast and it'll be fine.
Yeah. Or you can get a doll like the movie Megan.
I have a haunted doll. No, a little haunted doll.
I don't want it. I see Megan. I punt it and set it on fire.
Claire's cute.
But at Broadhead Manor, there is a Paracon on April 22nd. It starts in spring. And I guess he's going to have Megan there for show. So if you are not doing anything, jump up to Broadhead, and it's not too far from Illinois. It's about 45 minutes from Illinois, but Broadhead, Wisconsin. It's gonna be fun.
That'd be cool.
So with that, so I should say, welcome to the Paranormal Field as a team.
Thank you.
And I hope everything goes the way you guys hope it goes and more, and you guys catch a lot of stuff, because like I said, we're all in it together, and I just wish nothing but success for you guys, and if you could expand to have another lady in our team too as well. That would also help in different locations, like instead of like being a mixture of male and female, how different the place will react with just females. So, and that's what's coming up soon for what my experiment is going to be doing at the museum, is have 3 males and see what kind of reaction that is.
I was sitting there thinking of things that Sarah Jo and I can do. I don't really see, like, I don't know, like I feel like this is going to be an adventure for sure, because in my opinion, I don't really see a whole lot of just female duo groups that go into like this scary ass place and hang out by themselves. Like, it just doesn't really happen.
The other thing too is we had Jamie Lynn on her. She does Paranormal Party. So Paranormal Party has Joe West, Jamie Lynn, and I can't. I'm not going to say Taurus name because I'll mess it up, so I don't want to do that. So those three go investigate, but they also investigate with dudes as well. But you know, that's the thing. I mean, if you can collaborate with Paranormal Party and stuff like that, I mean, that's a lot of fun.
We're not opposed to investigating with dudes either. I mean, you just collaborating with people is that's perfect. I was sitting there thinking I was almost gonna send Sarah a snap today and tell her, you know what, we should just go to like Bobby Mackey's by ourselves. Like that's because
you
like
better be ready
everybody's
for that
so
one.
scared of it. Everybody is so scared of it, and I mean, I ain't gonna lie,
Just
a part of me is
hear about
curious.
it, but
Like you have people like it's either they love it or they hate it. Like one of the two. There's really no in between. But like, what if we were to like go to Bobby Mackey's, just you and me, but just like go down in the demon hole or something, whatever that is.
or bring a
whatever
God
that thing.
helmet with you.
I
Well,
might.
it's a good thing that Sarah Jo's religious and she knows how to get us out of such binds. Because
I mean, like, I would probably have a rosary in my hand and like ask to hold your hand in that hand, holding that rosary,
I'll
and we
hold
go
your hand,
walking
babe.
down there together.
I suppose two energies
With like a smoky quartz crystal around my neck and some fucking sage or something, dude. Genuflex.
And see,
I
this
don't
is
know.
what this is what I love. That and you know, you were talking about like how we're different. Like how do we like she's talking this is Sarah Jo and I fucking love it about her. And me, I'm just like, what's up, bitches? Like I'll walk up in there. I'll be like, what's going on?
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
Here. If you come to the museum, we do have to have at least one male in the jail area. That's just one of the requirements we have, just because the spirits like to push women down the stairs.
All right, we're good with it. So I shouldn't walk in there and be like, "What's up, bitches?"
Well, I mean, I do have a suggestion, but it's
make sure you guys are okay.
I do have a really good suggestion, but it is not at all appropriate.
Maybe off air.
Off air, I might make a comment about that, but like we could easily fix that. And it would be great. It'd be fine. They wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Some duct tape. It's great.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Everything takes time. So this has been a fantastic interview. I'll be having you guys on a lot as well because you'll be returning because you know everybody on here just loves listening to you guys and you know they thoroughly respect you. I respect you and all that stuff. So
thank you.
Well, thank you. We respect the fuck out of you too.
We love our Darren.
Hell yeah. And our audience too. Like,
yes,
I'm just tickled pink to have this kind of support, and I think we're both incredibly humbled, and we just really can't wait to share.
A little part of me was like, I was like, man, we're gonna get on here and like nobody's gonna show up, and the only people that are gonna show up are the people that like Darren.
No, see, the thing is I do post like a Wednesday. Was it Wednesday or Thursday? I started posting. I think it was Wednesday. I started posting, and so from time to time in the comments, I will have different people in here, and then there's times that they'll be the same people. But the thing is, the returning people I love having in here because they have all the aspects of what we talk about and know what we're talking about, and then you get the new people in chat, which are just very curious as to what we're talking about and stay in here a lot longer too. But I love the whole chat. And this is the only reason why this shows exists is for the comments and the people in chat because they're awesome people. They like getting in mix with you guys. And
well, and that I think that's one thing we want to provide too is to have that kind of platform for, you know, our old dogs per se, but also our ones behind the curtains who are just very curious and really have no idea how to talk about these things either.
Yeah,
because they've been through it. They don't know how to explain it. They think that they're weird or they're strange or whatever. And they've just been, you know, I just want to uplift people and give them the confidence to talk about these things because it does happen. It is okay. It is normal. Like you are not fucking weird. If you're weird, then we're all fucking weird and I'm green. You know, like
I grew up weird.
But like, you know what I mean? Like I want to open up the platform for these kinds of conversations to happen. And for people to not be so scared or be so deliberately self-conscious of themselves, like that's not at all. Like I said before, there's no such thing as shame in our house. It doesn't fucking exist. So welcome to Mirrored Souls and what we're about.
With a dash of shenanigans. Don't let our shenanigans fool you. We're very approachable people. Very approachable.
Yeah.
I've always been.
Go ahead.
I've always tried to be a very approachable person. And I'm always open to the possibility that I could be wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always.
Like, fuck, we all fuck up. Like, that's part of being humble.
Right.
I do it every day.
So with that, so like I said, it's been an awesome conversation. And what kind of message would you like to leave the viewership tonight as to, hey, I saw all these people and this is the last question message they left with us?
We hope we hope that you enjoy us. And like I really like I just want to enrich people's lives. That's what I want to do. I mean, if you're curious, I mean, if you want to come along, you know, I'm just very open. I'm very open, and I look forward to this this journey and this learning experience because I feel like I'm going to learn a lot. I've already learned a lot about myself and just about just I don't know, life in general, and that I'm capable of having a female bestie without wanting to choke slam her. It's fun.
Not yet. Not yet. It'll happen,
Right?
I'm sure.
No, I doubt it.
What's your
It
message?
takes a lot to make me mad.
Like I think of the podcast Morbid where they're all like, keep it weird, but not so weird as da 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 da. But like, dude, like, be curious, challenge yourself, ask questions. That's what we're here for. Everybody is in the same damn boat, and it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll let you know how the MIP works out.
Well, you'll go live, so people join these guys live. It'll be a lot of fun.
Fuck yeah!
I really hope that people buy them up and try it because I want to hear how they do with it.
I just
we'll have an update.
So Tori and Sarah, where can I get a hold of you guys and your social links?
Oh God! So we have a Facebook page, Mirrored Souls. We have a
TikTok.
Instagram page, Mirrored Souls, and we also have a TikTok. I feel like we're the most active on TikTok and Facebook. TikTok, we've already uploaded quite a few videos. Tori is phenomenal with that app because I know nothing. I mean, I do know something, but I don't know everything about that. I'm just no good on it, and I feel like I'm a little bit better on the Facebook aspect.
Hey, I just promote.
I know. So yeah, just follow us on all of that. Tori will be doing her lives on her TikTok page until we get enough followers on Mirrored Souls to be able to do lives.
Yeah, we have to have 1,000 followers on TikTok in order to go live. So for now, I'm going to go live on mine. Paranormal_Tori is the one that will be going live from Friday. We'll be at the Villisca Axe Murder House. And we also have a YouTube, and I have been working on uploading content to YouTube because I found like this little thing I like to do, edit videos and stuff. It's kind of fun. And plus I need like a little bit of practice for my haunted doll experiment that's currently running. It's on its way through. So I've been practicing a lot with Final Cut to see how I do, and it's been frustrating, but I've learned a lot. So yeah. He's not wrong.
It can be. Anything can be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I was actually working on a TikTok video when Darren sent me the link in Final Cut. So yeah, I'm mixing both of them. I'm creating. So
Yeah, hey Dave, David, how's it going?
hi,
Um,
David.
I just I'm learning to do editing myself, but I'm using LumaFusion for now. And then
Mm.
heard that which one is it? Not Premiere. DaVinci Resolve. I heard everybody's moving over to that one.
There was one that Thomas told me about, and I can't remember what it was. Oh shoot, I can't remember what it was.
There's a lot out there, but
Yeah, I just did Final Cut just because I know people that can run that. So if I run into issue, then it's very easy for me to ask.
Yeah, I've
Which
watched some of that stuff. How that all
Mhm.
moves, it's like my head's spitting.
Oh my
So
god.
much
Yeah,
to learn on
it
that. It's like
it gets
man,
complicated.
this
It
is
gets
easy. I
complicated,
can do this.
but it's actually a lot of fun. Like I'm kind of I kind of dig it. It's a lot of fun. Which David's a filmmaker. I don't
Yeah.
know if he uses Final Cut or not, but um it's really fun. Like David, I see your addiction. Can I just say? Like I see your addiction. I see why you do it because it's fun. Like the creativity is fun.
Right. Premiere. Okay.
So I know David's
Time
been
to do
working
all
on
that.
a lot of projects, stuff, and things. He's been working on some stuff. So, but I definitely see his addiction because it is definitely a lot of fun. So,
Right. Absolutely. So, like I said, thank you guys for coming on tonight. And remember, you're watching the Paranormal Brew and BB3 TV networks. And if you don't have Facebook, join me on MGS Paranormal on YouTube channel. And if you don't have that, then you can go over to Darren Buss on Twitch, which is Twitchy. And so,
I would give you spirit fingers. My armpits are sweaty.
and this has been Tori, and that's Sarah, and I'm Darren. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, for sure.
It was a fucking
fun.
blast.
Absolutely. And I bid you adieu. So long, everybody.
Good night.